For the past couple of days, I've been checking out No Rest for the Wicked. It can be kind of challenging. Twitch has been watching me struggle a little bit, but we've been having fun with it. But here are a few things I wish I'd known before jumping in, spoiler free. Let's start here in the settings menu. There's a few settings which you might want to tweak to optimize your experience. The first one is this auto target enemies setting. I've found this not to be helpful for me. Maybe it's because I'm used to playing games where I have to lock on to my target automatically, but I've found that this game has a habit of like locking on to a target that I don't want to be locked onto, and it kind of takes away control from me in a manner that I don't find super useful. So you might want to tick this one off if you're used to playing games with a lock-on system that you have to control manually. I found it a lot easier. Another one while we're here, or another set I guess, is there's these few at the bottom. Enemy poise bars I found super helpful. So poise essentially, if you guys aren't aware, is a stat that controls like when your character gets stunned and when enemies get stunned. And what enemy poise bars are is this bar, it's a bar that appears below your health bar, and when that thing gets full, it'll tell you when an enemy is about to kind of be stunned and knocked down, you'll have an opportunity to attack. So I don't see a reason not to have this enabled. It's super helpful, especially if you're struggling in combat. Damage numbers can be okay if you're like a stats and numbers person. I didn't find it super useful, so I left it off for immersion's sake. And stat numbers can also be helpful kind of in that same regard, but play with those poise bars in particular can be super helpful. Another part of the game that I didn't really understand right away was the realm system. If you're ever consistently getting stuck, especially that right after you get to Sacrament when playing through, there's kind of a skill bump that can be kind of hard to get over. You can always go create a new realm, hit confirm, and it'll spawn your current character just in the realm that you've just created, and you can just like run around and collect the early game resources. And if you go in here and look at like your inventory and your stats, this stuff is all shared. So you can go collect early game resources without any of that skill bump and then bring them back to your main save. And then if you ever get stuck again, you can come back to a different realm and harvest more resources. Character saves are independent from realm saves. So something to keep in mind. It always can be easy and you can kind of metagame around that a little bit. Might save you some time and energy. The fog of war system was also something that I didn't fully understand right away. It's explained in a tutorial, but I kind of missed it. Essentially, as you run around and explore the world, you'll uncover the map like so. It's this beautiful hand-drawn map. But there's these kind of two different tones you'll see in the map. You'll see these dark areas and these light areas. The dark areas are essentially where enemies may have respawned. The world is kind of reset, so within them you'll find enemies again, but you'll also find more loot. And in the clear areas, the lighter areas, that's where you've explored already and they're still safe. This seems to be kind of on a timer. As you do certain things, the map will get reset. It's not super clear to me when that triggers, but it's something to keep in mind. If you're re-exploring areas that are dark, you'll be encountering enemies again, and that's what this is trying to indicate. The upgrade system was another thing that I was sleeping on a little bit early game, and once I figured this out, it helped me progress a lot. Get over that skill bump a little bit. But essentially, if you go in here and talk to the blacksmith, he can upgrade your weapons. It's nothing crazy. The game introduces you to this, but you'll note that you need copper ingots and weapon shards to do so. I was struggling with copper ingots because I didn't have the forge to upgrade them, but the same smith actually also will just sell you copper ingots for 12 copper a piece, so it can be a pretty cheap way to get your weapons upgraded initially and do like double damage or 50% more damage. It's a significant bump right out of the gate, so I'd recommend checking this out, upgrading your weapons as much as you can, buying these if you need to. If you are struggling for money at all, this dude, Captain Randolph here, can hook you up with bounties and challenges that can help you quite a bit. So if we go into bounty hunting, there's these daily bounties that reset every day and weeklies that reset on a weekly cadence. You can do these once a day. There doesn't seem to be a huge pool of them right now, but these aren't super hard to knock out, especially if you've been to these areas already. They can get you quite a bit. It's like a silver per bounty. Check these out. You can figure them out. They're not too tricky. But challenges, you can actually do these every day as well. The trick with these is that you can actually accept these every day and run multiple of them at a time. So you can just like go through, and there's no reason not to just accept every challenge every day and make progress on them passively. So I definitely recommend this. Go into these challenges, pick all them up, and this will just kind of improve your passive income substantially. Another thing that took me a while to realize is that blocking is kind of OP in this game. So you can hold block and then dodge, and your character will immediately go back to blocking. The same is true with parrying. You can hold block and then parry, and your character will immediately go back to blocking. So if you're struggling with an enemy, this gives you quite a bit of leeway if you're using a shield. So like, for example, we can just run up and hold block and try to parry. But if we miss the parry, we immediately go back to blocking, so it's not like a death sentence if we mess it up. Something good to keep in mind. Food is also very important in No Rest for the Wicked. You'll get potions and stuff to help keep you alive, but food is kind of your main staple to help keep your character replenished. You'll use it to restore your health every time you get hurt. So I recommend going to vendors pretty often and trying to buy recipes as often as you see them to help utilize all of the resources that you're gathering as you like run around and collect and fish and do stuff like that. Like here's a fish skewer recipe, for example. Keep doing that to maximize your utility. It'll give you a lot more options on replenishing your health as you play. A couple of quality of life tips next. The first is this project that Danos offers us. It is the lodging staircase. I highly recommend this one. Essentially what this does is it gives you a shortcut to get back to that initial lodge that we have, which gives you access to the shared storage, which is the first chest you have access to that you can kind of store gear and resources that overflow. When you complete this project, it gives you a staircase right down here that will make it a lot quicker for you to get back up to that lodge. So you just complete that project and run right down here, and this door takes you all the way up to your lodgings. It can save you a lot of time. So we can go through the door, run up the spiral staircase, and get to our community chest much more quickly. While we're on the topic of storage and convenience, there's a few items here that Whitaker will sell us to help with storage and item management. If we go into here, click buy, there's the small chest in the cupboards. These help us store like consumables and items, basically everything you'll need. You will need housing unlocked to take advantage of these storage options that Whitaker sells us. You unlock that at the end of the Of Rats and Raiders quest of the main story. You get there pretty quick. But yeah, it can be huge. Inventory is a big problem in this game. This is what helps mitigate that, so don't sleep on this as you get to that point in the game. The last thing I wanted to note is that this game does not have a respec system, so as you commit your attribute points, those are permanent. So be mindful as you do this, kind of think what you want to build. Once you make that decision, it's locked in. Early game, if you're not sure what you want to commit to, like health, stamina, equip load, and focus are pretty good places to spend your points. You're going to want a few points in those basically regardless of your build, so keep that in mind. Kind of be mindful of where you want to spend those points as you go. But yeah, I think those are our tips that should get you going. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. I do all this because I like to stream and interact with the community, so if you found this helpful, be sure to hop over to the Twitch and follow me there. I'll have a link in the video description. Thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time.